Here we go.
So, Colby, you ready, man?
Absolutely. Always
All right.
ready.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, and I hope everybody else is ready too that's tuning in. This is the backwards K vector, and I just want to first of all start off saying that this is something that Colby and we met at a Starbucks one morning and spent about, I guess it was a couple hours there, and had a little notepad, pen and paper, and just literally just started jotting stuff down and came up with the backwards K vector. Now it took a little while to kind of get where we're at now, and ultimately what we want to do here is combine prospecting, with baseball players, and then combine the sports cards industry and put those two together to help you guys decide on which sports cards to invest in, which players to chase, any new products that come out. For instance, 2020 Bowman just came out. We'll touch on a couple players in that product as well as players in previous Bowman products, and kind of give you an idea of who to chase and who to go after. Colby, how does that sound? What are we looking for here?
Well, it's pretty interesting to me because not many things that you buy in life get better with age, like wine, baseball cards. So
Exactly.
It's cool.
That's a good point you bring up, because now the junk era, back when I was a kid, I'm a little bit older than Colby, so when I was a kid, when I was about 9-10 years old, the junk era was really, high up there. And basically, for those that don't know, that's just the era where there was just so many baseball cards produced. 89 Upper Deck, which has the iconic Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card that I'm sure everybody that's even seen a baseball card has heard about or seen before. And even so, those products were mass produced. But now those guys are making a comeback. Just like Colby said, everything's getting better with age, and especially if they're in a good condition and graded format. But that's how great the hobby is. You can collect these cards and have a good time and enjoy it, and then in turn they can turn out to be good investments.
Oh yeah, it's a lot to watch baseball when you have the race, and when you're like, man, let's go, Bichette, get a hit. Like,
exactly. You got a little bit more on the line there. So let's talk about. So we're going to go through a list of guys that we want you to kind of consider here. Now, some of you guys that are watching and listening, you're going to know who they are. You're going to be like, yeah, I've already looked for him. I'm already chasing that guy. But we also want to mention, like, this guy is probably, you can probably buy a certain guy low right now, because some of the guys we're talking about are still relatively inexpensive when you consider a Bowman Chrome Auto or a Topps Rookie SP or SSP, which is a short print or super short print. So just because you may know certain guys doesn't mean that they're not ones that you should consider chasing. So the first guy we're going to talk about is Andrew Benintendi with the Boston Red Sox. Colby, go ahead and give us what you know about him.
So he's a very professional hitter. His hit tool is very good, and he kind of took a step back. But the reason why I like him, he's just now 26, and he has 3 years of MLB experience under his belt. The more years that you have before age 25 or 26 in the big leagues, the better that your ceiling is going to be. So Benintendi came up pretty young. He kind of filled a role for the Red Sox in 2018. He got a ring. That experience is very helpful. And now that Mookie Betts is gone, not anything against Mookie Betts. He was the leader of the team. Now that there's a new fight for the top dog or the alpha on the Red Sox. JD Martinez is kind of the old vet. Xander Bogaerts could be him. He's been there a while. Same with Rafael Devers. He's still very new star. Maybe Jackie Bradley. He doesn't put up the offensive numbers that really make you a leader. So this is Benintendi's team to lose at this point coming in.
100%. That's a good point. And the thing that I've noticed, that I've seen with some of the career paths that are similar to Benintendi right now is they'll start off, they'll get in the league and they're on fire, right? They're top of the rookie of the year chase. You think they're 22, you think they're going to be just keep this pace for 10 years, 10 plus years. And then after that, they kind of just a steady drop back down. Of course, 2018, he made that diving catch that saved the game versus the Astros in the ALCS. And that was you were thinking, man, he's the next guy, Cody Bellinger type, although Bellinger at that point wasn't an MVP yet, but he's the guy that you're going to look for to be that leader like Colby's mentioning. But then he has a drop off in 2019. But I've seen it. I've seen this sort of career path where a guy starts out high, has a steady drop, and then bam, shoots back up. And I think Andrew Benintendi is a clear case to see that happen. And I'm not predicting an MVP, but I can see a Cody Bellinger type liftoff that is going to get him into consideration. And I can see that being a consistent, steadily rise back up to the top now that, like you said, Mookie Betts is gone and he's the guy. I can see him wanting to be that guy and be the leader of the Red Sox and get them back to where they were competitively. Some of the cards that you guys can look for Benintendi, his 2015 Bowman Draft Chrome Auto. Let me share my screen here so you guys can see this. So, that's good. I'll type him up.
Yeah, you definitely have your frequent flyer miles on eBay, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And they're called eBay. They're called eBay bucks. So I've gotten a lot of eBay bucks throughout the last few years. Benintendi, his first Bowman PSA 10. If you look at here, a 2-card lot, base auto, $280 for 2 PSA 10 autos. That's incredulous. That's just highway robbery. You're looking at a future top 3 MVP, in my opinion, and this is just cheap. So it's definitely a market right now to buy on Andrew Benintendi. We can also look at his rookie cards are even less expensive, of course. Series 1. He's got a 2017 Topps Series 1. Let's see what we can find here. Kidding me? $15.50. Buy 100 of them, and then watch them jump to $50 or $60 each whenever they do start playing, possibly even more. And then you got, his SPs that, because of the short print, they're going to be a lot more valuable. There's not any graded in a PSA 10 right now, but those are kind of a couple of things that for his chase that you wanted to look for. And the other thing too, if I miss any, those of you guys that are watching and listening, definitely find us and we'll give you our contact info at the end of the show and let us know, what kind of cards that you're finding of these guys that maybe we missed, and that way we can share it as we go forward. But for Benintendi, that's kind of what to look for right now. And if you notice, he's really low right now, so now's the time to buy low. And
to go off of that, here are my confidence levels for his career. 97% confidence level. He has a multi all-star career, so at least 3 times he's going to be an all-star. I can put a 97% confidence level on that. I like the predictions. I've done a lot of research on predicting things. There's a NBA website that actually does predictions similar to betting, like are the Warriors going to win 80 games this year, things like that. So I've had a little dabbling in it. So the next percentage I'm willing to put on, 85% confidence level. He becomes a player of Nolan Arenado's caliber at his peak years. So peak years for me are between 26 and 32. So he has not even reached his peak years, and he's already a household name. Really good swing quality. The fact that he bats left-handed for me is huge because he always faces pitchers daily that are going to be right-handed. I mean, if you saw all lefties the whole game, you had some bad luck. So it's going to be tough for him to slump. That's the main thing for me. Lefties are going to have a lot more trouble slumping than a right-handed batter. And so I have 85% confidence level. He becomes similar to Nolan Arenado as far as batting average, on base, slugging. If you want to go by WAR, that's fine. WAR for defensive positions really changes. So if you want to do all hitting WAR, that's fine too. I'm all about reading into how the guy's going to hit, and I'm not really concerned about what position they play or as far as big league players, I'm not concerned about what position they play. And then the last percentage I have here, 65% chance he becomes what Christian Yelich is doing right now. That may seem pretty low, but anything over 50% should be pretty strong buy rating. I think Benintendi is going to do well with the Red Sox.
Yeah, so I mean that's interesting that you bring that up about Yelich. I mean Yelich, his Bowman Chrome autos and his Topps rookie cards in a PSA 10 graded format have really jumped in the last couple of years with him being an MVP, and then if it wasn't for that knee injury last year, he would have been a back-to-back MVP. I mean, he's really taken off in the sports card industry. So if you're looking at a 65% chance of Benintendi reaching that level, that Yelich level at some point, that's worth a shot for me, especially as low as his prices are right now. That's worth a shot for me to grab Benintendi and hold right now as he climbs back up the ladder here to reach that level of play again. So that's interesting that you mentioned that, and that's something that I think that if I'm a listener right now, if I'm watching it, and I'm definitely taking notes as well as we go through this for my own benefit as well. So, go ahead.
Sorry, I had one more thing on Benintendi. Arenado started his career, and he had over 100 strikeouts, and a lot of people were down on his whole projection. He slipped. I play fantasy baseball. He slipped into pick number 8 for me, and I grabbed him immediately. Too many good things can happen in Coors Field, so that was the first reason why. But his swing quality was definitely there. He put the ball in play. A lot of people were concerned about his walk rate, but why are you going to take walks when you're in Coors Field? The elevation is so good. So Benintendi can have a very similar career graph as far as production goes to Arenado, and I think he's in the same category as what Arenado was when he came up.
Exactly, and don't let the low number of home runs fool you. I mean, I know he hadn't hit that much more than 20 home runs in a season, but don't let that fool you on Benintendi. I think the power is coming. I think the power will be there for sure.
Yeah, it's just about consistency. He's flashed the power. Veteran players or players that have multiple years of experience in the big leagues, they can learn how to be more consistent. It's not about whether he can do it. He absolutely can. It's just him recovering quicker from his struggles in the cycle of hitting. So
exactly. No, that's good stuff right there, man. That's good stuff. And I hope you guys that are listening are taking notes. And if you're watching, I hope you're writing down all the cards and everything that we're talking about, because this is stuff that you're going to definitely thank us for as we go through this. So Colby, go ahead and go on to the next guy you had in mind, and we can break down this guy.
Okay. I really like a couple of teams right now, the young players that are coming up. So we're going to start with the Rays, then we'll go to the Blue Jays, and then finally the Mariners. So the Rays are very interesting. They're very deep. Right now, a couple big leaguers that I like are Austin Meadows, Brandon Lau, and a couple minor leaguers that I like are Joe Ryan and Shane Baz. They're both pitchers. Joe Ryan should see the big leagues this year. The Corona virus may throw him off a little bit, but he is a very underrated guy. But the Rays are so deep. They're one of my favorite teams right now. I usually pick teams that I like based on what their actions are as far as what the GM's doing. So the Rays are so deep, and they continue to make trades from their depth that land them even better prospects. The original depth kings were the Yankees 2 years ago when they had way more than 40 guys to protect, and they started trading from them and cashing in the chips. They got Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman. It pays to have depth, and the Rays are understanding that they can develop players organically and then ship them out for whatever the big club needs, and it's really working well for them. So I would put Shane McClanahan, Joe Ryan, and Shane Baz as the top 3 pitchers to be watching for with the Rays. Everyone knows about Wander Franco, so it's kind of good to think along the lines of the Tampa Bay Rays. So, like, they have Christian Adams at shortstop, or no, Willie Adams.
Yep.
And Brandon Lau at second base. So where's Wander Franco fit in? He's going to most likely play third based on what his production is. He's hit an insane amount. Very good hitter and rated very highly. So he's nearly a can't miss prospect. I'm sure his value right now is insane.
Yeah, his Bowman Chrome auto you're not going to find for under 4 figures. Great, especially in the graded variety. But so let's quick question here. We don't have to spend too much time on this one, but talking about Wander Franco, if he can't find a hole in the infield, is he a center fielder in the future?
It seems that he's a corner guy. Based on I looked at their contracts and things. Brandon Lau is probably going to stay. They extended him. He's their leadoff batter. He's got awesome power. Willie Adames, he also got extended, I believe.
Yeah, he did, and he's good. They didn't extend him for nothing. I mean, they knew Wander Franco is right behind him, but they gave Willie Adames the extension, and he's the shortstop for them for the next few years.
Yes, absolutely. His glove really reflects how well he can track the baseball. His swing quality is finally improving, and so that's why we saw an offensive jump. But you can expect even a bigger offensive jump because the consistency will be there from Willie. And so I would say Wander is going to third almost guaranteed.
Okay.
The reason, can you even name the third baseman right now?
No. You got me. You stumped me on that one.
Well, it's Yandy Diaz. So he's an awesome.
They got him from the Cardinals, huh? Oh no, they made a trade with the Cardinals and got Randy.
Randy Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, I butcher his name, but Jose.
That's right.
Yandy Diaz was a third baseman in the Indians organization, so he's jacked. He's absolutely jacked.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, and they got his swing quality down. He's hitting the ball way better. And then they have G-Man Choi at first, and then they got Tsutsugo from Japan in free agency. So their major league depth is super deep. They're going to have guys that are fresh coming out every game. So it looks like a logjam because of all these guys. But Yandy Diaz, his contract's coming up soon, and I'm sure the Rays will either flip him or let him walk and take a first-round draft pick. That's kind of their system. They're cycling through guys every year.
So let me show you some of Austin Meadows stuff here. So Austin Meadows in 2013 has a 2013 Bowman Chrome auto and Bowman Chrome draft picks and prospects. And you see here his PSA 10 graded auto when he was with the Pirates, and he went for $143 earlier last week. So which is also a steal. So you're talking about a top 10 offensive player in the American League, and he's still relatively inexpensive. Now, if we want to look at some of his Topps rookie, I believe he's in 2018. I mean, this one is his SSP. This one's a very rare card. It's graded in a PSA 10, $280, which is still pretty inexpensive for such a low pop card.
Is that because he's with the Rays?
Yeah. So on this one, I think it might be his. These are going to be a little bit more rare though than his Bowman Chrome Auto, but you would think that. I mean, that's a great question. You would think that a Bowman Chrome, his first Bowman Chrome Auto, is going to be that anybody in particular, their first Bowman Chrome Auto is going to be more expensive than a Topps rookie card, and it could have to do with the fact that he's on the current team that he's on, and this card is a rookie card. So that's the one thing that I've been interested in figuring out is, like, for instance, Gleyber Torres, although his Bowman Chrome Autos are outrageously expensive, but with him being on the Cubs, you would think that his rookie cards being on the Yankees now would be pretty high, which they are, but his Bowman Chrome Autos are pretty high. So this is just the reason why this is high is because it's an SSP, a super short print. But if you scroll down here, this is his actual base true rookie here. Topps Chrome update. Actually, that's Topps Chrome. His Topps update. This one is not even graded. I mean, look at that. $299.
There's a question.
Yeah. Question mark PSA 10. So if they're wondering if it's going to grade a PSA 10, of course that's just a way to sell it. But if you look here, I mean, it says base update rookie card. I mean, very inexpensive right now. You're looking at a potential top 10 offensive player. He's someone that is definitely you can buy low still and hold for right now as the Rays continue putting good pieces around him. And one little note on Shane Baz, he's a guy that I've known for a little bit. I coached a team with him when he was 12 and 13 years old, and I mean, just a great kid, great family. I knew at a very young age he's going to outwork everybody. I mean, just extremely strong work ethic. So you're getting some inside info here because he's a guy to definitely keep an eye on. Now, I personally have hoarded a lot of his first Bowman Chrome Autos. A lot of it was because, look, I know the kid and I love the kid and his family, but he's also a good piece, a good investment piece right now. If you're looking for someone to buy, still relatively low, and a guy that could potentially be a number 3 and even higher in the rotation, or even a closer, and someone that's a big piece of their success in the future. So Shane Baz is definitely a guy to look for. He's out of 2017 Bowman draft. Just wanted to give that my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, Shane Baz, he is legit. I would rate him as an ace. The ease that he throws 99 to 100 miles an hour, he's going to be, as a starter, the health that he has, it's apparent to me that he has a very healthy action when he's throwing. It's not there's no rigidness in his delivery. He's got very good fluid motions and a very clean release point. There's no resistance when he's about to release the ball. He's dominating the baseball. So, yeah, I would rate him very highly. Same with Austin Meadows. Actually, I didn't even know those prices were on Austin Meadows. So, I mean, that's complete disrespect, man.
Yeah, it is. He gets no hobby love. He don't get much hobby love, and some of it's because he plays for the Rays. But man, Colby, tell these guys that they need to look out for the Rays, man.
Oh, the Rays are coming. They have too many guys stored up.
Well, I'm laughing because I believe you, man, and it's kind of a nervous laugh because they had the Astros, on the hinges there in the first round, and probably could have beat them if the Astros didn't have any help, any dugout help or anything of that nature. Hey,
Well,
I'm an Astros fan, man. I grew up in Houston. I root for the hometown team. I'm actually a Braves fan more than anything. I grew up a Braves fan, but if the Braves and the Astros ever met in the World Series, I'd definitely be going for the Braves. But I still like the Astros, and got to put some heat on the Astros though for what took place last year. So
yes, I really thought they were going to beat Cole. Unfortunately, only to sweat him out.
Say it again, Colby. We lost you there for a second.
I really thought that the Rays would handle Garrett Cole and they could get a good game plan against him. If you take enough pitches against him, you do pretty well. And G-Man Choi did an awesome job at the plate every at-bat. Unfortunately, he was on his own planet. No one else was up there with the same game plan. But I really wanted the Rays to win against the Astros.
Yeah.
I have a loyalty to the hometown team.
Yeah, well, we'll get to your team. We'll get to your team at some point, Colby. But go ahead. So let's talk about who's the next team you had.
The Blue Jays.
Oh, this is the Blue Jays. This is the so we got a future ALCS matchup here on the Blue Jays and Rays coming up.
Yes, they're. I hate to say it, but the Yankees are the class of the MLB right now as far as developing rosters and filling out rosters. The Rays followed that path, and the third team that's following this same blueprint is the Blue Jays. So they are absolutely stacked in the infield. Here's the thing about infielders: their supply is very low. It's hard to find a guy that plays the infield. If they don't play the infield well enough, they get shipped out to the outfield. Literally happened to me. I threw too many balls in the dugout from shortstop, and coach said he whistled like his little West Texas whistle.
Yeah.
And then he sent me out to right field.
That wasn't me, right? I didn't do that, right?
That was Coach Metter. Luckily, I went back to the infield.
Yeah.
And I needed to learn how to handle my feet better anyway, but my arm was good, so I went to the right field. So here's the thing about outfield. You don't want left fielders, you want right fielders. So the reason why you want right fielders or center fielders is because they have the powerful muscles, usually in your core, legs. The energy train starts in the legs, goes up to the core, and then goes to the arms. So if you have a strong arm like Yasiel Puig, then you also show that you have the pop to swing it. And you have a lot of just confirmed pop, not just BP power. You have confirmed pop because you're hucking it as fast as you are. Same with Aaron Hicks. He threw 105 from the outfield a couple years ago from one of those StatCast throws. So when you are hucking it that good, then you can also display big jumps in power as long as you're consistent.
Yeah, there's a reason why the best arms on the team are in right field. As you see when you see guys playing in the big leagues. So let's talk about a couple of those Blue Jays guys in their cards. So Bo Bichette, and actually several of them are out of the same Bowman class. So we'll start off with Bowman with Bo Bichette here. Let me share my screen so we can. So Bo Bichette is another guy that, man, you could buy really low right now. Bo Bichette, 2016 at the Bowman draft. This Bowman draft refractor auto here, Bowman Chrome refractor auto, PSA 10 grade. This one for $750. I mean, that's definitely not as expensive as that you would think. I mean, especially with the growth that this could take place in this card. You're looking at a base auto here, which they're climbing up a little bit. $455 here for a base auto and a PSA 10 grade. $480 here, $464. So they're hovering around the 500 or below mark for a base auto. his rookie card just came out actually in 2020 Topps Series 1 and in a PSA 10 grade. This is the Walgreens yellow, which is Pop 2, as you can see, which means there's only 2 of them, at least at that point, that are graded in a PSA 10 grade.
Where's that blue one at that we had?
Oh, that was back in Bowman. I'll run by that in 1 second. His base rookie card here right now, $133. You can buy him for 120 plus. Base rookie PSA 10 grade. If you can figure out how to buy a lot of these Bichette 2020 Topps rookie card, by all means, definitely go and grab it. Now let's go back to the card that Colby mentioned here. So we got this is the blue wave here. This is the blue wave. This one went for $898, PSA 10 grade. If you notice here, it's kind of wavy. It's got a little holographic wave to it. That's the blue wave there. Now let's go to a true blue refractor. Where are we at here? True blue refractor. Might have to type it in.
Yeah, blue wave's okay, but this thing is way better.
Looks like it's not there anymore than what it was yesterday. I don't know if it didn't make the cutoff date because they go I think like 60 days back, so it might have gotten. Let's see if I can find one. See a bunch of blue waves, but no. This is it. Well, that's the. Yeah, there you go. So this is a true blue refractor. These, if you're an investor, you're going after this particular card. This is a PSA, a BGS 9.5 grade blue refractor. It doesn't have the kind of the wavy wave to it. It's just a true blue refractor. And that one went over 1,500. So you can see the premium that's placed on those. Now, that's probably a high end right there. That's definitely probably in terms of an investment. That was early March. I think that was, if you notice here the date, that was before the shutdown. So it's not going to be as high right now. But when they start playing again, you're probably going to, if you can find one of these true blue refractors in a graded format, you definitely want to jump on it. I think that it's definitely going to be a good investment because Bichette, along with Cavan Biggio, he's also in Bowman Chrome, 2016 Bowman Chrome. Take a look at him. Now, Biggio is outrageously inexpensive right now. Added an extra liter there, but he's just a base auto right here, an ungraded raw, $53, $40. These are all still relatively cheap and inexpensive. Colby, what do you think about Cavan Biggio?
Another criminally underrated player. A lot of people are knocking him because of his batting average was 220 or whatever, and his strikeout rate was kind of high. He's not a shortstop. He may get moved to the outfield if they want Miguel Geraldo to take over at second base. Those are just silly marks against him to me. He's shown excellent play discipline, and he's unlocking his power. If you show you can walk in the big leagues, you can walk all day long and play 10 or more years in the big leagues. Just because he came up at age 24, there are literally just silly marks against him. I actually traded for him when I started in this very serious league that has a couple MLB scouts or a lot of people that are in baseball in some way, like they have a blog or something. I traded Jay Groom, the Red Sox arm, for Cavan Biggio. There are 3 players on each side, and that guy handed me Biggio, basically. And now I have him, Joey Gallo, and Austin Meadows as my kind of core lineup. Biggio may be I can't put him ahead of Ladito or Bo, but he's going to be as good. He's the same category. It's not like a distant third. They are 1A, B, and C at this point. They're going to be awesome hitters.
Wow, that's pretty that's pretty good stuff right there, because with Biggio, Cavan Biggio's stuff being so inexpensive right now, and we feel like, because I do agree, I feel like Cavan Biggio can be up there with, the Vladdies and the Bo Bichettes and those guys are going to help that team in the future in the big leagues coming up really soon. He's definitely a guy to buy low right now for sure.
And they're expecting to win. I mean, they're going to be very competitive in the most competitive division in sports, the AL East.
I think that signing of Ryu is going to be huge and help them make that jump. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win a wild card this year.
Yes, and Nate Pearson is coming up. That's what I was getting to earlier. I never actually finished. So filling up your infield is very difficult to do in the big leagues. Filling up your outfield is not as difficult. So the Blue Jays stocked up on some really good infielders. Lourdes Gurriel, he's in the outfield now. He's another guy that's a couple-year veteran, and now it's time for him to really show out in left field. Grishik and Teoscar Hernandez, I'm getting a little impatient with them. Hopefully they figure it out. But overall, the Blue Jays, they're developing hitters that walk, and whether they strike out or not, they're walking and hitting home runs. Hitting the ball hard each time up is all that you can ask for from all hitters. But Biggio is a rare talent for on-base percentage, and that's going to help him develop his other skills, like more better contact, and also more power. You're making the pitcher come to you, and you hit their mistakes. So it's really – his swing is so awesome. Bo Bichette's swing is still I would still grade it slightly better than his. But I would also say Bo Bichette's discipline is still a little behind Biggio's at this point.
That's good. That's good stuff. I think that we touched on several guys right now that are big leaguers, but you could still potentially buy them low. They've had success. They've jumped in. They've had success in the big leagues so far. But we still feel like, with some of the information that we provided, that you could still buy low on these guys and hold. In 3, 4, 5 years, you can watch your investment grow. I'm sure you guys saw a Mike Trout Bowman Chrome Auto in the red variety, number to 5, BGS 9.5 grade with a 10 grade auto, just went for almost $1 million, $900,000 on Golden Auctions. So that's kind of what we're trying to portray to you guys, is like, who's the next guy? Who's the next guy? Now, I'm not saying that any of these guys are going to be, in 10 years, going to be a Mike Trout level, but who knows, right? Who knows? I think right now, what Colby and I are doing is providing this information to help you guys make these decisions. And we did that with several guys today, and touched on a few of their characteristics and attributes that we feel like are going to help, get to where these are somewhat good investments. One thing I wanted to Colby, did you have anything else that you wanted to kind of conclude with?
Just that we're seeing a more modern era, and so hitting the ball hard is valued. Like Joey Gallo has more home runs than singles. So those are the types of players that are getting selected for. We want players that hit extra base hits in the minors and that walk a lot. If they strike out, they will be able to limit their strikeouts. But you have to have power and on base before you can even get a chance to be able to decrease your strikeout rate. So, yeah, that's all.
Good stuff. Hey, Colby, man, this was great. I look forward to the next shows with you. I think that this is something that we could definitely do weekly. Those of you guys that were watching and listening, definitely reach out to us and let us know anybody or anything that you want us to look into for you. Any cards that we missed that you think would be a good investment, definitely let us know. Whenever I do this, as far as like finding cards that people should invest in, I'm just looking mainly for flagship products. So the Topps Series 1, Topps Series 2, and Topps Update for me are the true rookies. And then, of course, the Bowman Chrome autos. Those are the true prospect cards that you guys want to invest in. I do want to say to find us online, find us on Facebook at, find our page at Backwards K Vector. Just a backwards K Vector. It's not actually a backwards K. It's backwards then K then Vector. And then
yeah, we're searching for cards. That's why it's a backwards K.
There you go. Yeah, searching for cards. I like it. That's right. That's exactly what we're doing. And on Instagram, backwards K Vector. You can find us there as well. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you guys the next time. All right. See y'all later.